I mean, I think we all know who's going to be at the bottom, and this one kind of hurts my soul because like there's so many great players
Yes.
that
Thank you.
just got drafted there, and another team that I think will be better next year than they are this year. And I feel the same way about them as I feel, you know, about the Bears. Is like they're going to lose a lot of close games that they probably should win, trying to find who they actually are.
Yep.
And please do not fire Kevin Stefanski after this year because of this, because I think 4-13 does not let you know how good they are. Improving by one game, of course, they were 3-14, fourth in the division. Their offense ranked 32nd in the league in points scored, averaging 15.2 points per game. Man, that's not going to be the case this year. I think they're going to put more points up on the board. They're also near the bottom of the league in total offensive yards, relying heavily on individual performances rather than consistent team play. That's a key point I wrote there. The Russian attack, led by Jerome Ford, struggled to produce consistently. 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. This just had to be the week that we talked about this. And so every single week is always relevant. But there's one guy that got drafted there that I believe in that is going to take the league by storm. 20-year-old running backs that get drafted always have decent seasons or have better seasons than what we think. Dylan Sampson, write his name down. Write his name down, please. The offensive line faced challenges. They ranked 27th on PFF's top 25 rankings, due in part to injuries and inconsistencies. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller, two names that we've always talked about through the years, they didn't have the seasons that they thought they were supposed to have. Jack Conklin played well after returning from injury, but the line struggled with continuity for sure. They used 8 different starting combinations last year.
They can beat that this year.
They can. Now the continuity issues are in that quarterback room.
Yes.
Shedeur Sanders, of course, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco with what's his name?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. There.
If he gets healed,
he's
enough
not going to be healthy.
Yeah,
he's a mouthpiece this year. For sure. And we'll come back to the quarterback situation because I know you have some things that you probably want to say on that.
Yes,
the defense under defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz showed flashes and dominance.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett had a record-breaking season, excelling as a rushing the passer.
Yes.
Recording 14 sacks. We told you this man is a man amongst boys.
Yeah.
The run defense improved, particularly against the run. But however, the pass defense was inconsistent, especially on the road. Now let's get into some of the transactions that they made. Kenny Pickett comes over from the Steelers in exchange for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Which is crazy. He's with the Eagles now. Jerry Jeudy, of course, got there last year. Devin Bush, Nick Chubb are now Nick Chubb is a free agent still trying to find himself a team. But we went through their draft a little bit. But Browns fans, you could thank the Jaguars for all the draft picks that you got. And you just continue to just draft better players than us.
Yes.
Carson Schlesinger has started this whole thing. We're going to skip Mason Graham because Mason Graham is the constant. I think he's going to be a beast next to Myles Garrett. We should have never allowed that to happen. That's crazy. But Carson Schlesinger has started this whole thing about guaranteed contracts for second round players. And then it was Jaden Higgins for the Texans. And now we just had Jahdae Barron today. So why a lot of these guys have not signed is because of Carson Schlesinger and his agent coming to the Cleveland Browns and saying we want a guaranteed contract. Of course, they draft 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is what it is. Everybody knows the situation. Go check out the video. I talked about it a little bit. We don't talk about legal situations here.
Right.
Just know that he was in the wrong. I mean, there's video evidence. Harold Fanning Jr., the best receiver in college last year as a tight end, led the whole country in receiving yards. Dylan Sampson and Shedeur Sanders were their other draft picks. Insane. insane draft class. Let me go and see what we ranked them. We gave them an A- draft grade.
Yeah, it was a good draft.
Very, very good draft. Now, with that being said, talk a little bit about the quarterback room here, Don. How confusing is this?
Yeah. If you take a look at our website, one of my articles, I do touch on that with the Cleveland Browns. Is it quarterback depth or is it complete dysfunction?
Yeah.
Like Dante said, they re-signed 40-year-old Joe Flacco, added Kenny Pickett fresh off the Super Bowl backup appearance he had, and then drafted Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. While their $230 million quarterback is still recovering from a ruptured Achilles, hasn't played since October of 2024.
Do you know how much this hurts me right here? Hold on, let me show you something, Don.
Okay.
I didn't even post this in the Discord for you to see. But two of my favorite players are on the same team with the Browns, and Dillon Gabriel and Dylan Sampson.
Yep.
Well, it's just crazy. Both names are Dillon. I have a signed Dillon Gabriel card right here.
Nice.
A signed Dylan Sampson card right here.
Nice. Good stuff. That's all right. And Dylan Sampson, crazy. I'm going to go off the quarterbacks for a second because I just want to reinforce what Dante said about Dylan Sampson. Sampson led the SEC in rushing yards per game and rushing touchdowns in 2024.
He got drafted, in the 4th round?
Yeah. He was in the 4th round. But to lead the SEC, this guy is not just a 4th round pick. This is a guy who probably could have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick easy. Or in a year where there weren't as many running backs, could have been a 2nd round pick. I mean, this guy's going to surprise a lot of people. He really is.
I think Deuce Staley called him after the 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀😂 thing and said, soak everything up right now. I don't know how long 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝗀's going to be away.
Right.
But this is your time to get that leg up on 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀. I bet you he had that conversation with him. Like, you got to show yourself now.
And I know there's going to be some people that are uptight with the 4 wins, but you're talking the 32nd ranked offense last year. And that just does not change from one year to the next. When just because you stack the quarterback room, it's not going to make you win more. It doesn't happen that way. The 8th ranked defense overall, 4th on special teams. This is another team where the defense is going to lead the way. But once again, similar to what we talked about with the Bears, they're getting the tools on offense. They're getting the tools to be better later. It's just it's not going to happen this year. So I like what they're doing. Stefanski should not be on the hot seat whatsoever. This is going to be a team to contend with, a typical AFC North team that's physical. It's going to be a great division in another year or two.
I agree. I think the Browns need to make the decision on their quarterback, and I'm not talking about Joe or Kenny. I think Kenny should start. Actually, let's ask this question. Who do you think should start? I think Kenny should start. That's just my opinion.
I think that was the intent when they got him, but I think it's going to be hard after minicamp to say no to Flacco. I think he is going to put that much space between himself and Kenny.
Wow. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I've explained this situation 1,000 times, but for those that didn't hear me say this, all these guys have something in common, and that they're all trying to prove themselves. Let's start with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's trying to prove that he can get over the injury and be the quarterback from 2020. Kenny Pickett's trying to prove that he was worth that 1st-round pick from the Steelers.
Correct.
Joe Flacco's trying to prove that, like, I'm still a guy that can come in here and win games.
40 isn't fatal.
Right. I've seen Brady do it. I've seen so many other guys do it already at a high level. And he also, I like the fact that he's kind of an a-hole. He said, "I'm not here to mentor y'all."
Yep, exactly.
You either watch and ask questions or don't. Like, I'm here to be the quarterback. I love that mentality. He did the same thing with Anthony Richardson last year.
Yep.
Then you got Dillon Gabriel, who's trying to prove that his height is not a crutch.
And it's not.
It's not. And like I told everybody, news is starting to come out that Dillon Gabriel has taken, he struggled like his first week. And now he's taking the offense, like he's learned the offense so good that a lot of people are impressed.
It was so hard to listen to the mini camp stuff with this team with all the different quarterbacks. The beat writers would say one thing, the national media would say another thing. You didn't know who to believe, who was actually performing well and who wasn't.
Yeah, I had a buddy that worked for the Browns, and he was like, "Don't believe anything. Dillon's the best quarterback right now." Regardless of how many people want to beat, and people said that Shedeur is the guy. Yeah, Shedor's made some good throws here and there, but he's been practicing with like the second or third team most of the time in those camps. So, but I've seen the videos of Shedeur, the way that he's done in the media and staying after practice at night. We saw the clip that came out yesterday. I think that he's generally trying to do better, but when you get in a speeding accident like you got the other couple months, a month ago, it's like now you're taking a step back. And so for those out there, we are rooting for Shedeur to break the mold, but his crutch is like, and he a touted first round quarterback chosen in the 5th round. Can I be what everybody thinks I should have been, was a first-round quarterback in this whole process? So all these guys have got something, a chip on their shoulder the size of Montana. Yeah. So,
and with Shedeur, it's really a change in mindset, because this is a guy who was at 2 different programs in college and inserted as the starter. He didn't have to earn it. Now he's got to earn it. You got to have a different mindset for that. But I really hope he does well. He's got the talent.
And you're competing against a guy. The only thing about this team is there's one guy that had to compete everywhere that he's been except for one school. Dillon had to compete with Mikey Keene and the rest of Mackenzie Milton and all those guys, right?
Yep.
Then he goes to Oklahoma. Of course, he was the starter out there. But then he goes to Oregon, and Dan Lennon switches up on him and goes against Dante Moore in the transfer portal, and Dillon almost transferred again because of that. He was mad about that. I would have been mad too. So everywhere he's gone, he's had to pretty much prove himself. So this is in the norm for him. He's learned so many different playbooks. People need to get out the way that his height is a factor. It's not.
That's right.
He's won everywhere he's been, man. I mean, I don't know. Go watch the Penn State game. That's as close to an NFL ready team as you can get, and he won. He beat Ohio State, who was the national champions last year.
Yep.
They had a really good game at Alton Stadium.
Yep.
I hope Dillon's the starter for this team when it's all said and done, and I hope he wins a lot of games. But you know what this reminds me of is Baker Mayfield when he was there. A guy that's got the hugest chip on his shoulder. Remember, Baker was the same way. He's too short to play quarterback. Blah, blah, blah. He can't lead this team. Led him to a playoff win it was a playoff win for the first time since like forever. I think it was like 20 plus years or something like that. Something ridiculous.